crazy controlled. They're missing each other by an inch, sliding each other. I mean, they know what they're doing, and it's poetry in motion.
There's a fine line between great focus and obsession, and you got to make sure that you're still in the right side of that line where it doesn't start inhibiting your performance when you get here.
You have to know where the edge is, and a lot of times we go over it.
Alright, good evening race fans and welcome to RaceSpotTV. Tonight the American Dirt Series visits the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. My name is Brett Wheeler in the booth tonight. Joining me is Davis Richards, and in the production truck is Randy Cheddar. The penultimate round of the 360 wing sprint cars and qualifying getting set, or already underway I should say, and welcome in my co-host for tonight, Davis. Davis, how are you going?
Hey, Brett, I'm doing great. I'm ready to see some awesome racing here tonight at Knoxville. We got some of the best dirt drivers in iRacing, and these boys sure know how to put on a show.
Yeah, they certainly do qualifying at the moment, and we're seeing Cole Newhoffen sitting atop of the speed charts here with a 16.577. Austin Carr sits second, quick with a 16.640. Terry Renard will be sitting in position number 3, as each driver will have 2 laps around the Knoxville Raceway to set their fastest time. And we've still got a handful of cars, and looking at the points series so far, Alex Bergeron has a commanding lead, a 46-point lead over your second place. That's Chris Brennan. You've got Anthony Lopresto in third, Tim Smith and Michael Sheridan rounding out our top 5 tonight, as Dylan Simmelman now, he's going to make his name known here in the American Dirt Series and on RaceSpotTV. He now sits at position number 1 with a 16.564.
And taking that pole is Chris Brenner with a 16.554. As you're watching him come into turn 1 and 2 right now, slinging that machine around and throwing up some dirt clods, as he's got that thing hammered down and really using that cushion right below it on the straightaway.
Yeah, very precise track here around the Knoxville Raceway as we get set for the penultimate round of the American Dirt Series 360 Wing Sprint Car Series. On the racetrack right now is Tim Smith, who is sitting, I think I said 4th in the point standings, and that is correct. So we'll see what kind of lap time Tim Smith, your current points leader, Alex Bergeron, is also out on the racetrack as he goes quick time with a 16.650.
Yes, he does right there. Alex Bergeron, our points leader, with a 16.550. Like you said, he's going to be coming back with a vengeance, as we've seen him run this whole season. He's been up front. He's had some heartbreakers too, but just because he's got that huge points lead doesn't mean these boys aren't going to go out there and chase him, because they've got something to prove as well out here tonight.
Now, so far over the 6 weeks, we've only had 3 different winners. Chris Brenner, he's picked himself up 1 win. Austin Carr's found 2 wins. And Alex Bergeron, your points leader, he has picked up a hat-trick of wins. Well, I shouldn't say hat-trick, but I'll say 3 wins in the season so far. Well, round number 7, the penultimate round here at the Knoxville Raceway, and on the points leader, no surprise, sitting in position number 1 as Ted Lett finishing his qualifying lap, and he's going to sit 10th quick with a 16.810. Well, Davis, I think we've got about 23 cars here for the 7th round of the American Dirt Series 360 Wing Sprint Car Series. A couple of heat races to come up later tonight, and well, I think it's going to be an interesting night, and hopefully the track is going to widen out. The cushion, it's been a bit of a talking point over the past sort of week, nearly 2 weeks since it's been released, and well, no doubt that there should be a cushion later on tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see that cushion really develop on that high side. And, man, I went out there with the midgets, the sprint cars, the late models. I cannot get that cushion to work for me. Every time I try to do it, I just slam up in the wall and just go end over end. So hats off to these guys, because you're going to see a lot of these guys just flying around that cushion and really overusing it. And that's when another talking point, too. Some people are saying the cushion, it develops a little more than they'd like, and it really takes away from the low side. But with Knoxville Raceway, there's always been 2 or 3 lines on this racetrack, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that cushion does develop throughout the night.
Now, let me tell you that I did done a broadcast yesterday here at the Knoxville Raceway, and the cushion was super fast. Although it was super fast, it was actually one on the bottom side of the racetrack late in the race, but the track that I had was fairly slick from top to bottom. But let's go through our top 10 in qualifying. Alex Bergeron in position number 1 with a 16.497. Chris Brenner in second with a 16.555. Dylan Simmelman back in third position with a 16.565. Cole Newhoffen with a 16.578. Anthony Lepresto with a 16.640 sits in position number 5. Austin Carr in 6th with a 16.641. Tim Smith a 16.669 in 7th. 8th, Terry Renner with a 16.694. Kevin Lovies with a 16.698. And Ted Liette rounds out our top 10, so just a little bit over 2/10 separating tonight's quick time and position number 10. It's a fairly close field here tonight.
Yeah, it really is a very close field. I think we're going to see a lot of close action racing too. Look to see Alex Bergeron up front, see if he makes any mistakes or if he's just able to hold that lead. And Chris Brenner and Dylan Stillman, those are some more guys to watch. But I'm telling you, one other guy to watch. We talked about him all week long. He's a fan favorite. They call him the Alien. That's Terry Renner. He's starting over there with a top 10 starting position with a 16.694. So look to watch that 0-2 make his way to the front and see if he can compete with these big boys tonight.
I'll tell you what, if you ever go to the Williams-Grove Speedway, you got the PA posse and the posse, and they try and hold off the World of Outlaws guys. Well, a couple of Aussies in the field tonight: Joel Berkeley and Lewis Hewitt, and also Travis Smith, the Kiwi. So not to get Australians and Kiwis confused. I won't insult the Americans on stream. I'll do that off stream, thanks. But heat race number 1 getting set to start in just a moment as we wait for a couple of drivers to get on track, and we're going to have 7 of the cars in heat race number 1, as looking like an 8th starter is not in the serve yet, maybe needing a little more time to wake up here. But heat race number 1, the 331 of Ted Liette will start out of position number 1. Out of position 2, the 38 of Tim Smith will start out of position number 2. Cole Newhoffen will start out of position number 3. Fast time tonight, Alex Bergeron will start out of position number 4. Dakota Kuhn in car number 95 will start out of position 5. Ernie Williams Jr. will start out of position 6. Chad Gamersfelder will start out of position 7. And Lewis Hewitt needs to wake up and get his backside in the server. He's scheduled to start out of 8, but not in the server yet, so he will be a DNS in this one.
And we haven't seen Lewis Hewitt the last couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting to see if he can go out there, because we know he can run, and he's always fun to watch too. Those Aussies, they really know how to sling this dirt around and get up through the field, don't they?
Yes, we certainly do. And look, 10 on the board, and we're going to have our top 3 advancing to tonight's feature. Obviously, with qualifying done and dusted, there is an inversion, so 3 heat races tonight, the inversion of 12, so you'll see the faster guys. So if you qualified first, second, or basically first through to 6, you are going to be starting in the second row of your heat race here tonight, and that's where we're going to see the likes of Alex Bergeron and Cole Newhoffen as well. Don't count out Tim Smith. He's starting in position number 2. He wasn't all that far off the pace, but he's going to be in on the outside of that front row.
Yes, he will be. We've got a lot of fast guys in there, and watch Alex Bergeron with that invert. He's going to start in the 4th position, like you said, on that outside. Seen him get in some trouble last week, and he didn't finish where he wanted to. He actually got a DNF last week at Charlotte, so he's going to be coming back with a vengeance and going all out, trying to grab that checkered flag. So really excited to get these boys running here tonight with the second to last race for the American Dirt Series.
Yeah, the penultimate round of the series. Heat race number 1 about to roll off as the drivers behind the pace truck, and the pace truck will take the left-hand turn on pit road. We get set for heat race number 1. Ted Liette leads us to the top of the green flag. Past the virtual Doug Clark stand, and down into 1 and 2 they go. Heat race number 1 on the board. Liette rides in the first spot, and Newhoffen and Alex Bergeron, they're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Bergeron trying to wheel it around the top side. Newhoffen on the low side of the racetrack, still side by side as they come off at corner number 4. Lap number 1 will belong to Ted Liette in that 3:31. And Bergeron, he's going to take over 3rd now down the back straightaway, looking to the inside of Tim Smith for 2nd.
See Alex Bergeron utilizing that low side, gets into a little contact right behind him before Newhoffen. Still trying to get everything, goes back to the low side in 1 and 2, to try and pull off the slide job right in front of Tim Smith. He does. Tim Smith just barely backs back into that sprint machine. I don't think he's going to like that too much as Tim Smith goes back with the other slide job, and Alex says, hey, wait a minute, I'm coming back to it, as these drivers going back and forth each and every turn. As now we see Alex Bergeron going on the low side up to the leader. That's 3-3-1 of Ted Liette. And try and do everything he can.
Now Bergeron up to position number 2 at the moment. Tempiet still hanging on to the race lead. 4 down, 6 laps left to run here in the first of 3 heat races tonight. Bergeron, he's still got a few more laps to try and work over the 3:31. Car length away from your race leader, Bergeron. Now going to look through the middle side of the racetrack. Tempiet up on the top side of the racetrack, side by side as they come out of 4. Here is Bergeron, going to pull a slider on Liet. Liet going to keep the foot in the bunk and try and power back around the outside. Bergeron, he will take over the race lead as they go into turn number 3 and 4.
Alex Bergeron trying to slide up right in front of him. He's not. Yes, he is. He's going to be able to slide right in front of him. Can get some momentum and climb back up there and pass Bergeron. But now he's going to have to deal with that number 38 machine of Timothy Smith. If he's right on his tails, and there he goes, Ted, right on the bottom side. He's losing a lot of momentum in that middle corner. I'm really seeing that low line really start to be able to come in and really working for Alex Bergeron. And I'm just seeing that number 331 machine of Ted just falling back.
Yeah, Bergeron starting to check out from the rest of the field. He's almost got the field. In fact, he's got 0.6 of a second right now for the battle on for a second. Well, it's going to be a 3-car battle, and right now, Liet, he's fallen back to 3rd. Tim Smith got underneath him. Now the 8 of Cole Newhoffen. He's got 1 lap to try and get into your top 3 to directly transfer into tonight's main event. The white flag is out for Alex Bergeron. He's gone. Newhoffen now with a slide job on Liet. Liet going to keep it around the outside. They're side by side as they come past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Newhoffen into turn number 3 and 4. He gets the spot, but Alex Bergeron, he will pick up the win in hit race number 1. Second, we'll go to Tim Smith. Third, going to be Cole Newhoffen, Ted Dakota Kuhn, Ernie Williams Jr. and Chad Gamersfelder, rounding out our 7 cars in heat race number 1.
And you're going to see the last of the transfer spot. It's going to be Cole Newhoffen coming in that 4th position. Dakota Kuhn is not going to be able to transfer through this heat. He's going to have to look to transfer through that C or B main later tonight. But what an awesome race right there. Wasn't seeing the drivers get right on top of that cushion like I was expecting. They were going about half a lane below it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that comes in as some of these drivers in this second heat notice and take advantage.
As we'll go through your heat, grid here in heat race number 2, starting on the pole. He's talked a lot of smack this week, telling everybody he's going to win tonight. It's the number 9 of Joel Berkeley starts out of position number 1. The 02 of Terry Renaud will start out of position number 2. UW Motorsports row 2 on the inside. The 57 of Anthony Lepresto and Chris Brenner in position number 4, running in that number 84 car. Corey Wenzel will start out of position number 5. The 24 of Ryan Martin will start out of position number 6. Scott Bellamy in car number 7 starts position 7, and Travis Smith in the 23 will start out of position number 8. And well, this is going to be an interesting race because over the past couple of weeks, Brenner and Berkeley, they've both had some accidents or incidences that have been involved with each other. And like to talk a bit of smack behind the scenes as well. And well, Berkeley said that he's going to win tonight. So we'll see if the number 9, he's got a mighty mouth, he's got a mighty right foot as well. We'll see what he can do in heat race number 2.
Well, he's talked the talk. Now it's time to put up or shut up, because here we go for this second heat. Going to be interesting to see. Got a little bit of a rivalry coming on in this series, so going to be really interesting. Going to have to watch those drivers and see how they react around each other. But we've got some really fast drivers in this second heat, and I'm really looking forward to watching these guys.
Yeah. Talking about the rivalry, their teammates they are teammates. The second row, Brenner and Anthony Lepresto, they sit in positions 3 and 4 on the racetrack. They sit 2nd and 3rd in regards to the championship. So championship points are very vital at the moment. Pace struck in, heat race number 2, 10 laps on the board. Berkeley with a slow pace. We are underway here at the Knoxville Raceway, heat race number 2, and we're Anthony Lepresto. He got a great start. Straight up into that second spot, ran out a little bit slow on the start. That slowed up Chris Brenner as well, contacting the back of the pack. But right now, Brenner in the 84 going to slide down to the bottom side of the racetrack, going to slide up and try and take over that 3rd spot on the inside of Brenner. Berkeley leads the opening lap. Lepresto in second. A great battle going on. A three-car battle for third, fourth and fifth at the moment. But Chris Brenner showing his true class right now. Takes over third as he goes into turn number 3 and 4.
Chris Brenner just cut through those two drivers like they were butter. It looked like they were standing still. And now you see him going using that middle lane. Now behind him, we got a battle right here with Terry Brenner and Corey Witzel. See both of those drivers utilizing that cushion, getting right on top of it. And actually, Corey Witzel is using more of that cushion than Renner is, but we're seeing Renner get more of that momentum out of the corner. And now we've got Chris Brenner just tap the wall just a tad. That's what I was talking about with that cushion. If you're not careful, you'll get on top of it and hit the wall, and you can actually absolutely kill your momentum.
Yeah, certainly can. And one thing I was noticing Brenner too actually was he's using the cushion on the entry to the corner just to get that right rear and sort of drive it through the middle of the racetrack, whereas you know, you ride the cushion like Wenzel was just then, it keeps the car on top of the racetrack. Speaking of Wenzel right now, he's on the inside of Rennet. As he goes into turn number 3 and 4, he's going to put a slider on Rennet. Can Rennet, will he make the crossover right now? Oh, they make contact, Rennet and Wenzel. Wenzel goes upside down. Rennet, well, he's going to, well, he's not too happy about that, but unfortunately, both these drivers, Rennet is going to be out of this one. No, and we have a replay on screen.
You're watching the replay right now. You see Renner cutting right in front of him, and then you see Wenzel just cuts right in front of him, gets on top of him, and just slams him into the wall. And those two drivers are definitely not going to be happy with each other because that was for the transfer spot, and unfortunately none of them are going to transfer. They're going to have to get through that B or C main later tonight to have hopes of getting into the A main. But right now we've got a battle for the lead. That's going to be the number 9 of Joel Berkeley and the number 57 of Anthony Lopresto. Berkeley has a bit of a lead on him, about 4 or so car length lead on him. So we're going to see if Anthony Lopresto can wind him down and fish him in as we get to the closing laps of the second heat.
Yeah, Berkeley just turned the fastest lap of the race with a 17.074. Well, our top 3, top 4, top 5 actually just turned their fastest laps of the race on the previous lap. And Joel Berkeley coming off at turn number 4, he sees the virtual white flag into turn number 1 and 2. Lopresto is there. Berkeley rides the cushion out of turn number 2. Lopresto, he was fast on the last lap. They go into 3 and 4. Lopresto looking for a slider. No. Berkeley coming off at turn number 4. Well, he's going to put up at the moment in hit race number 1. He gets the job done. He takes home the win. Second will go to Anthony Lopresto. Chris Brenner in third. Travis Smith from 8th up to position number 4. Scott Bellum comes home in 5th. 6th was Ryan Martin, Corey Wenzel, and Terry Renner rounds out our 8-car field, and our first crash of the night. And I dare say it's not going to be our last one, Dave, but man, what a heat race that was. A battle was on for the transfer. Then we've seen a battle coming up for the race lead.
There was battles all over this track, and we see the Australian pulling it out with Joel Berkeley winning that heat. But right now we're getting ready for that third heat.
All right, we'll go through your grid here in heat race number 3. The 10 of Jason Minot will start on pole position. At a position number 2, it's going to be the 18 of Kevin Lovies. At a position 3, he's car number 13 of Austin Carr. Dylan Simmerman will start at a position number 4 in that number 3 car. At a position 5, the number 90 of Trevor Royer. DJ Kilinowski will start out of position number 6. Connor Parisi will start out of position 7. And I think that's going to be our 7 cars in this heat race. And, well, we've seen our drivers from the second row, on the outside of the second row, both transfers. So Brenner and Bergeron. Bergeron actually picked up the win. And Brenner, well, he had a little bit of a tougher heat race, but managed to finish in 3rd. Get a direct transfer into tonight's main event. I dare say Dylan Silverman, he's going to have a tough time with Austin Carr, Kevin Lovies, and Jason Minot in front of him here tonight.
Silverman is going to have a tough time, and you're seeing starting in 2nd and 3rd, Austin Carr and Kevin Lovies. Those two drivers finished 1-2 last week at Charlotte, with Austin Carr picking up the win. So you know those guys can run. You know they've got a lot of speed, so look for some battles between them. And again, we're going to have 4 drivers transfer out of this heat into the A main.
All right, so for the first time, these drivers are going to be rolling around the track behind the racing official pace truck. They come off at turn number 4. They get the 1 in the green signal this time by, and they'll be on the gas next time by off at turn number 4. Jason Minot will have this one, and well, Davis, the cushion hasn't really been too effective here tonight so far.
Yeah, no, as much as we talked about it and as much as we've seen it on other tracks, I'm really shocked that we haven't seen that cushion be more and more utilized throughout this race. Maybe we just got to wait for this track to slicken up and maybe it'll come more into play in the B main and the A main. But right now, I'm just seeing these drivers go about half a lane below it, and then I'm seeing other drivers really diamond that corner and getting on that low side. So definitely interesting to see how it's going to play out tonight. But nonetheless, I'm really shocked that we haven't seen it come more into play and more drivers hit into that outside wall.
All right, coming off at turn number 4, heat race number 3 about to roll off, and we are underway. Jason Rhino leads the field down the front straight into turn number 1 and 2, and Austin Carr immediately slides up. Dylan Simmelman, Lovies gets shuffled back, but it's Carr and Dylan Simmelman now 3 wide. Here's Lovies nearly 4 wide as they go into turn number 3 and 4. Contact between Lovies and Rhino. There were 3 wide coming off at turn number 4, and Dylan Simmelman from 4th up into the first spot at the moment. We've only got 1 lap complete, 9 to 1. Carr, Carr and Silverman, they made contact coming out of turn number 2, but here comes Kevin Lovies in calibrated, stalking the 13 of Austin Carr.
And wow, what a start of the race we had right there. They were almost 4 wide, and right now we've got a battle for second. That's going to be Austin Carr in the number 13 and Kevin Lovies in the number 18. Now we've got a battle for the lead. See Austin Carr going to the low side of Dylan Silverman, pulls off a slide job, almost gets more. He's going to spin out, and there's a wreck right there. There's 2, 3, 4 drivers.
Now Austin Carr, unfortunately, he got Jason Minor. Trevor Royer was involved in that one. And Kevin Lovies replay up on the screen as you see Austin Carr just jumped the cushion in turn number 3 and 4. And carnage was just ensuing after that one. The drivers behind him had nowhere to go. But we go back up towards our second and third place car. DJ Kilinowski rides in second behind your race leader of Dylan Simmelman. Connor Parisi in the 11 car. Well, he's only a couple of car lengths away from Kilinowski, and that's going to be probably the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment, as we are halfway home. 5 down, 5 drivers. They come past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
Yeah, not really sure what Austin Carr was thinking. It was really early to be making that kind of move, but nonetheless, it made it really interesting to watch. With the closest battle on the track right now, that's going to be DJ Kilinowski and Connor Perez right there as they're going side by side through the corner. Look at Connor trying to get past him. Can't quite get it. Can't quite get enough momentum as he goes on that low side. Pulls off the slide job on DJ, and DJ's going to be fighting back on that low side as they're going to come into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, 2.5 to run as they come out of turn number 2 right now. Simmelman continues to lead the race. Kilinowski and Parisi having a great battle for second and third. Austin Carr back in 4th. He's a fair way away from these drivers. In fact, 2.7 seconds separates the 3rd and 4th at the moment. Kilinowski on the top side of the racetrack in the pink and black machine right now. Parisi now. He's gotten back by Kilinowski. They go into turn 3 and 4. The white flag in the battery waiting right now. These 2 drivers don't do anything silly, boys. You're in a transfer spot. That's what you want to do as we go into 1 and 2. It's still Parisi in second, Kilinowski in third, but your race leader Dylan Simmelman comes into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Kilinowski going to try one last time on the bottom side of the racetrack. Parisi up top. It's a drag race out of turn number 4. Simmelman gets the win. Parisi comes home in second. Third is going to be DJ Kilinowski, Austin Carr 4th, Trevor Royer 5th, Kevin Lovies and Jason Minot rounded out our 7-car field in heat race number 3. Well, we've locked in 12 drivers now. We are going straight to the feature. I don't think that's possible. I think we're gonna. I think we got last chance qualifiers coming up next. Just getting confirmation from race control. I think we're going to be skipping the last chance qualifier because not enough drivers. It's looking like that there is 23 drivers. Yes, all drivers will make the show. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here on RaceSpotTV. Stick around, the main event, or Trophy Nation main event, to come up next.
Crazy control. They're missing each other by an inch, sliding each other. I mean, they know what they're doing, and it's poetry in motion.
There's a fine line between great focus and obsession, and you got to make sure that you're still in the right side of that line where it doesn't start inhibiting your performance when you get here.
You have to know where the edge is, and a lot of times we go over it.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV for round number 7. Just a quick update for everyone watching at home. We're going to have a trophy dash coming up next. So the top 2 finishers from the 3 heat races that we've seen will be lined up into a trophy dash, and then we'll get set into tonight's main event. So still plenty of racing to come from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, the penultimate round of the American Dirt Series 360 Sprint Car Series. Stick around, we'll be back in just a moment for a trophy dash and then tonight's feature event.
Kyle Kimball. I am the Manager of Operations in the Motorsports Department for Mazda North American Operations. We are at Bondurant Racing School here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we are putting on the Mazda Road to 24 shootout. We started with 14 qualifiers that submitted business plans to us, and from those 14, we narrowed it down to 4. Those qualifiers were Celine Roland, Tyler Casera, John Allen, and Preston Pardis. For me, the first session was just, the memorization piece of the track. I probably was halfway through the session before I felt like there were 2 or 3 places I could push. Now I knew what was next. I already see some differences in preference of how people approach certain turns, or certainly the braking into the first chicane is a little bumpy. So there's a lot to learn, but that's part of the fun.
So as a judge, what we're looking for from these drivers is the opportunity that they take the information that we give them. They can then make themselves a better driver on the racetrack, and then we get to see that instantaneously the next session when we go out there. So we can see whether they can listen to us and comprehend what we're saying, put it into practice, and then see the result.
I'm Jonathan Bomarito. I race the Mazda factory RT24P prototype for Mazda in the IMSA series. We've had 4 really impressive guys here today, all going for a $100,000 scholarship to run in the MX5 Cup series next year.
I'm Preston Pardis. I'm from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Actually, I've had iRacing since 2010, so I'm a 5-star gold member on the forums. Nothing like hopping on, with a few buddies and do a few sessions, but it's great when you're learning a track. There's nothing like physically driving a racetrack. You can look at video data, but nothing does justice to where you want to really place your car, and it really transfers really well. I think you need to do it nowadays.
Hi, I'm Tyler Casera. I'm an at-large nominee here at the shootout, Spec Miata racer, and won a couple championships in SCCA and NASA. iRacing is, I think, a huge tool, great tool for me to prepare for race weekends and just hone my craft and stay sharp when I'm not actually at the track.
Hey, my name is Salim Rayan, 9th year Mazda racer. I currently race Spec Miata. Honestly, the first thing I thought of when I got in this car was how similar it is to iRacing.
Took us one final session, but we do have a winner of the $100,000 value scholarship into the 2018 Mazda MX-5 Cup, and that winner is Salim Rayan. Congratulations.
It's incredible knowing that now I'm a Mazda factory driver. I work for Mazda, Classic Mazda in Orlando, Florida, and now I'm a Mazda factory driver. It's kind of my life now, even more than it was before. Just a professional race car driver. That's what everyone's dream is, and my dream has become a reality.
One driver of note, John Allen, came here today mainly with an iRacing background, and you know, it was pretty impressive actually, I must say, how he started off, that he drove 3 sessions, every session solid improvement, lap times were coming down. I was very impressed actually with his approach, and a lot of that comes through the iRacing, and you really see how beneficial that is for these drivers trying to come up through the ladder.
I've just started to watch my son get involved in iRacing, and it wasn't available when I was around, so I'm really captive now about how it can increase the ability for a driver to come to a racetrack and know the racetrack and really have a good feel of what to expect, and we're seeing that with all the iRacing competitors that we've had come through the program so far. And this year with John Allen, and I've already said this to him, remarkably impressed with how well he has done.
So through our partnership with iRacing, John Allen beat 17,000 other online racers to make it here today, which in and of itself is an incredible accomplishment. He showed today that he absolutely deserved to be with the 3 other drivers on track. He showed consistency and learning every single time he was on the track. He was in 3 sessions, and each session he got faster, sometimes by a half a second. The progression that he showed throughout the day was absolutely tremendous.
I'm pleased with my performance. I'm pleased with the feedback I got, the opportunity to get the level of coaching that we did. My goal right now is to make it back here next year, you know, through the real world competition, and just make it back as an at-large bid. I know a little more about the process. It leaves me better prepared to come back and attack. No doubt, you know, the list is long of people to thank. My wife and our dog, and they were just fun road trips. We even snuck a family reunion in between 2 of the events this year, and to that end, my family, you know, supporting me in this. They don't need to understand it, they just know I love it, and that's enough for them to support me and push me further. Clearly, the practice I received over the last few years using iRacing is very applicable. To come out here and do a serviceable job, even a highly competitive job, is almost entirely due to that. So I intend to still be a regular on there and continue honing my skills and find some more tracks to translate that to next year.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV, live from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. We are getting set for tonight's Trophy Dash here in just about 12 laps. Your top 2 finishers from the 3 heat races we've seen earlier on will get set as they will be going in the Trophy Dash. The starting lineup will be this way. Joel Berkeley will have a pole position. To his outside is going to be Alex Bergeron. At a position number 3, it's going to be Dylan Simmelman and Tim Smith. Anthony Lepresto and Connor Parisi are going to be your 6 drivers in tonight's Trophy Dash. Once again, my name is Brett Wheeler. Joining me in the booth is Davis Richards and Randy Chenoweth in the production booth. And Davis, we're going to get set for the final part of tonight's festivities here. And our top 6 drivers after the 3 heat races are going to get set to launch around the Knoxville Raceway for a Trophy Dash. And as they're rolling around on the racetrack now, just a little quick prediction in this Trophy Dash. Who have you got?
Oh, it's really tough to go with anyone but Alex Bergeron, starting in that outside row in second. But we've got some other heavy hitters out there. We've got Joel Berkeley. We were talking about him earlier. Had a bit of a smack talk. Now he's here to back it up. Dylan Silverman, Smith, and Anthony Lepresto and Connor Priest, and it's just a power stack dash right here. And I know we're going to see some great racing here in this dash as we get set up for the A main later tonight.
Yeah, how they finish is how they will start your top 6 starting positions in tonight's main event. And we are green, and Berkeley got a good start. Simmerman with a slide job on Bergeron. Lepresto on the inside of Tim Smith down the back straight away. Berkeley will continue to lead in the turn number 3 and 4. Smith and Lepresto, they are side by side. Lap 1 in the books. Berkeley rides the top side of the racetrack, and well, here comes Alex Bergeron, not too far away in the distance. Battle going to come up in the next couple of seconds for the race lead. But Simmelman, he's going to ride back in 3rd, and Connor Parisi puts a slide job on Tim Smith. And that's a battle going on for 5th and 6th at the moment. 2 down, 10 to run.
Anthony Lepresto fell way back through the field. He's going to have to try to get everything he can, try to get back up there, but it might be too little, too late, as these laps are just going to fly by. But right now, we've got Alex Bergeron trying to take that lead on Joel Berkeley for that first position. Alex Bergeron's going down low. See Berkeley up high. Berkeley loses a little bit of traction and slides up the track. Bergeron using every single thing he can on that low side, pulls off the slide job. Berkeley goes back to the inside, trying to get all the movement he can down the back stretch, going into 3 and 4.
Into 1 and 2, Berkeley with a slider on Bergeron. Bergeron going to come back underneath him now. Battle well and truly on for the race lead. These 2 young guys are trading slide jobs. Bergeron with another slider on Berkeley. Now Berkeley comes back underneath him. Man, they are very tight at the line. Oh, there was contact between Berkeley and Bergeron, and that's going to allow Dylan Simmelman now. He's going to throw his name into the mix. Anthony Lepresto not too far away. We complete halfway in tonight's dash. 6 down, 6 to run. Berkeley continuing to lead from Bergeron. Simmelman, Lepresto, Smith, and then you got Parisi at the back of the bus. But well, Bergeron, you know he's not done with yet. He's going to try and get underneath the 9 one more time as they come out of turn number 4. Nose to tail down the front straight away.
That little bobble by Bergeron allowed this whole field to catch back up right to him, but Bergeron looks like he's not skipping a beat as he's going to get into P1 position. Is Berkeley going to have anything for him as we come to the closing laps? Bergeron slides up a little higher than he wanted to. Now Berkeley's going to be on the attack, and Bergeron's going to be on the defense.
Now, well, your top 5 right now, they are very, very close into one another as they go into 3 and 4. Lepresto all over the back of Dylan Simmelman right now. Bergeron, he makes a little mistake. You know, Berkeley's going to be there. 3 laps left to run. Here in tonight's dash, Bergeron runs a slide job line in turns 1 and 2. Berkeley just fallen back by a couple of car lengths right now. Lepresto looking the inside of Simmelman. Oh, a slide job on Simmelman. Well, he catches the right rear of Anthony Lepresto. That allows Tim Smith to get on by. And Simmelman shuffle back to position number 3. 2 to run in tonight's Trophy Dash.
Stillman isn't going to like that very much. Anthony Lepresto running that 3rd position. But right now, now he's got a challenger, Tim Smith, trying to look to the outside of him. Don't think he's going to quite be able to pull it off as they're on lap 11. Going to have 1 lap left when they cross the start and finish line. So right now they're going to the back stretch and into 3 and 4.
Yeah, for the final time in tonight's trophy race, Alex Bergeron will start in the pole position for tonight's main event. Berkeley comes home in second. Oh, in fact, it's the white flag. So, well, the way they'll finish right now, Anthony Lopresto and Tim Smith riding in that third and fourth spot at the moment. Similarly, in fifth and Connor Parisi. The checkers are out. Bergeron picks up the win from Berkeley. Anthony Lopresto, Tim Smith, Dylan Simmelman and Connor Parisi. And well, Dylan Simmelman not happy with the 57 of Anthony Lopresto. As those two drivers, they made contact as Lopresto got underneath him. But well, the scene is set for tonight's feature event, and we have Bergeron starting on the pole, and he's been perfect so far. Quick time tonight, picked up a win, picks up the trophy dash from the outside of the front row, and well, now he's going to start tonight's main event from that pole position. It's going to be an awesome race in just a moment.
Yeah, you're right. Silverman was not happy about that right there. Gonna have to story we're gonna have to watch here tonight. And apologies. Now we're getting set up for that A main.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be 40 laps in distance. I believe this one is, so the penultimate round of the series. And well, the scene is set for tonight's main event, and we're going to go through our starting grid here in just a moment. We'll go through the championship points. You've got them on screen right now. So Alex Bergeron is currently your points leader. Chris Brenner in second. And got third is Anthony Lopresto, Tim Smith, Michael Sheridan, your top five. And you go back to Austin Carr, Max Stamble, Robert Kerstetter, Dakota Kuhn, Dave Flick, and well, Dave, there's a couple of those names not here tonight. You know, the likes of Michael Sheridan, Max Stamble, Robert Kerstetter, David Flick not here tonight as well. So your top 10 certainly going to be shaken up with the point standings later on. But you know, you look at the likes of Alex Bergeron, who's picked up 3 out of 6 wins so far. Chris Brenner, you know, he's picked up a win as well. You know, he sits in second, you know, a couple of points back behind his teammate Anthony Lopresto, who we haven't seen in victory lane, nor Tim Smith or Michael Sheridan. You know, Lopresto, Smith, and Brenner, all teammates, but you know, 13 points, you know, within each other. You know, this top sort of 3, or even top 4, I should say, it's really going to be on in these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're right. It really is, and a lot of the guys in the top 10 not able to make it. You know, usually we run on Monday, but switched to Friday for tonight. So unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make it. But you're right. I'm glad you brought that up. We haven't seen Tim Smith or Lopresto in victory lane this season. These are two very fast drivers. I know Tim Smith was pulling out top 2s and top 3s at the first of the season, but really going to be interesting to see if he can get out there and try to grab him a win. We know he's got the speed, but Alex Bergeron all season long, he's been putting a whooping on this field. But hey, like last week, and then last week he got into some trouble and got a DNF. So anything can happen, and we've seen him get in some trouble before. And then we've also seen him like the week before when the 2 drivers made contact on the last lap, and Alex Bergeron picked up the win. So really interesting. Gonna have to watch a lot of these drivers, and we've got some temper flaring too. We've seen that all season long, so there's a lot of storylines that are coming into this A main.
Yeah, a lot of storylines. Well, we're going to throw it to a quick commercial break and let these drivers just run this track in just a little bit, hopefully develop multiple lanes here at the Knoxville Raceway. So we'll take a quick break here on RaceSpotTV, and we're going to come back with tonight's main event in a couple of minutes' time.
Kyle Kimball. I am the manager of operations in the motorsports department for Mazda North American operations. We are at Bondurant Racing School here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we are putting on the Mazda Road to 24 shootout. We started with 14 qualifiers that submitted business plans to us, and from those 14, we narrowed it down to 4. Those qualifiers were Celine Roland, Tyler Casera, John Allen, and Preston Pardis.
For me, the first session was just, the memorization piece of the track. I probably was halfway through the session before I felt like there were 2 or 3 places I could push. Now I knew what was next. I already see some differences in preference of, how people approach certain turns, or certainly the braking into the first chicane is a little bumpy. So there's a lot to learn, but that's part of the fun.
So as a judge, what we're looking for from these drivers is the opportunity that they take the information that we give them. They can then make themselves a better driver on the racetrack, and then we get to see that instantaneously the next session when we go out there. So we can see whether they can listen to us and comprehend what we're saying, put it into practice, and then see the results.
I'm Jonathan Bomarito. I race the Mazda factory RT24P prototype for Mazda in the IMSA series. We've had 4 really impressive guys here today, all going for a $100,000 scholarship to run in the MX5 Cup series next year.
I'm Preston Pardis. I'm from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Actually, I've had iRacing since 2010, so I'm a 5-star gold member on the forums. Nothing like hopping on, with a few buddies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RaceSpotTV, live from the Knoxville Raceway. The feature is about to begin here in just a moment. We're just waiting on one more driver to get into this area. In fact, no, the checkered flag has been thrown here on the unofficial practice as we get set for tonight's main event. We'll go through your starting grid here in just a moment. And Walt Davis, we've seen Alex Bergeron dominate the field tonight. He's got one more race to do that. It's going to be 40 laps in distance. We'll go through a quick prediction. Are you going to pick the elephant in the room and pick Alex Bergeron, or are you going to take someone different to find in victory lane?
I have to go with the number 38 of Tim Smith. We talked about it before we went to break. Showed a lot of speed this entire season. I'm counting him to get his first victory of the season tonight here at the American Dirt Series 360 Sprint Cars at Knoxville Raceway.
All right, you see a couple of cars, in fact, a lot of the cars in the grid. We're going to go through your starting grid for tonight's main event. Starting on the pole position in car number 12, it's going to be Alex Bergeron. To his outside, it's going to be the 999 of Joel Berkeley. At a position number 3, the 57 of Anthony Presto lines up alongside the 38 of Tim Smith. At a position number 5, the 3 of Dylan Simmelman. He's going to line up alongside the 11 of Connor Parisi. Inside row number 4, it's going to be the 8 of Cole Newhalfen. He's outside the 84 of Chris Brenner. Inside row number 5, DJ Kilinowski will line up alongside Ted Liette, who starts out of position number 10. Position number 11 belongs to Travis Smith, and out of position number 12, it's going to be Jason Minat. Dakota Kuhn starts out of position number 13, and Scott Bellum will start out of position number 14. Inside row number 8, it's going to be the 90 of Trevor Royer. He will line up alongside the 91 of Ernie Williams, who will start out of position number 16. Ryan Martin in car number 24 will start out of position number 17. Out of position 18, it's going to be Kevin Lovies in car number, I believe he normally runs 18, it is in fact 18. Inside row number 10, it's going to be Chad Gamersfelder alongside him, the 888 of Corey Wenzel. Row 11, we'll see Austin Carr. He will line up alongside what is meant to be the 666 of Lewis Schilt, but looks like Terry Renner will take up that position here, as we are going to have 22 drivers. 21 drivers looks to be on the racetrack, with 22 on the grid. So a quick update of what these guys, what's happening on the racetrack at the moment. This is not the initial green flag run. We have 5 laps extra on the board. It's going to be a 40-lap main event. We're basically going to reshuffle the grid from the dash drivers. They will take up positions 1 through to 6. The rest of the field will line up from their finishing positions in their heat races. So you'll see these drivers roll around the racetrack for the first couple of laps, and well, it's just to shuffle the grid and get the correct starting order. But however, it will be 40 laps in distance. Just the ticker may say 45, but they had an extra 5 laps just to shuffle. No, it's going to say 40.
And as always, as fireworks are going off, I always want to thank our sponsors here for the American Dirt Series. The main sponsors being Dirtco Media House in Southern Indiana Lawn Care, and special thanks to Shiloh Forestry, Kings of Dirt, Beat Earth, 1934, and then Down Under Graphics as well for sponsoring this great series.
Alright, so the cars at the moment, they are still shuffling through positions in the back of the pack, but they won't be too far away from getting set in tonight's main event. And it's a couple of cars at the back just needing to know where they're going to be. But man, I tell you what a front row. We've seen it in the dash earlier on. Berkeley and Bergeron, undoubtedly the 2 of the fastest guys on iRacing. And funnily enough, they're not from America. You got a Canadian, you got an Aussie. How about that? What do you got to say about that one, Davis?
Well, being from Texas, I'm from my own country, and that's Texas. So, hey, we don't have any Texans in the field tonight. As I said it before, man, them Australians, they come to play, and they've got some serious speed out there. Then you got the Canadian of Alex Bergeron, but hey, I'm still going with the American Tim Smith to get the job done here tonight.
Oh, I'm not going to pick the horse in him. I'm going to go for the fellow countryman, the 999. He's talked smack all week, as I said earlier on in the broadcast. Well, now it's a time to put up or shut up. Second place is not going to be good enough for the 999 machine, as I believe we're getting set to go green this time by. So, in fact, it's 2 to go. Alex Bergeron and Joel Berkeley, your front row. Once again, we'll just quickly go through the drivers as they're rolling around in rows of 2 by 2. Anthony Presto and Tim Smith, row 2. Row 3, Dylan Simlin, Connor Parisi. Row 4, Cole Newhalfen, Chris Brenner, DJ Kilinowski, and Ted Liette. Row 5. Row 6 is Travis Smith and Jason Minot. Dakota Kuhn, Scott Bellum, Trevor Royer, Ernie Williams, Ryan Martin, Kevin Lovies, Chad Gamersfelder and Corey Wenzel, Austin Carr, Terry Renner, Lewis Hewitt not in the building, and Blake definitely at the admin here tonight. So 22 starters in tonight's penultimate round of the American Dirt Series 360 wing sprint cars. Well, it's time. Normally, sometimes they get dirty for 30. And yes, this rhymes, Randy. Let's get naughty for 40.
Well, there's a saying right there. These drivers are 2x2, like you said, getting ready to go green. As they're in 3 and 4 right now. As soon as they exit 4, that green flag is going to drop, and we're going to be green here at Knoxville Raceway.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see that cushion come into play. Waiting on the green flag, and we are green here at the Knoxville Raceway. Bergeron with a good launch. Anthony Lepresto immediately up to position number 2. Berkeley looking to the outside, Simmerman on the inside, nearly 3-1 as they come off corner number 2. Lepresto and Berkeley side by side into 3 and 4. Give it to Lepresto as he takes over second. Berkeley falling back to third. Here comes Tim Smith and Dylan Simmerman side by side. But Berkeley going to roll back through the middle in turns number 1 and 2. Pick up second again with Lepresto. Not done with just yet as he rides the high side. Simmerman with a slider on Smith.
And right now you've got Anthony Lepresto taking over that second position. Dylan Silverman kind of fell back through the field, but now look at Anthony Lepresto using that bottom side, trying to get all the momentum he can. Tim Smith really using that cushion on the top side, but Berkeley's about a lane above him. Look at the momentum that Berkeley gets on that high side with 3 wide coming out of 4. They make contact. These drivers up front, they're able to stay safe and keep those sprint cars on the track without too much damage.
Wow, Bell on there. The reason for the cause of that caution. We have a look at the replay. I think we got one up on screen. But man, what a battle between Berkeley, Lepresto, Smith. They were 3 wide. You throw in Dylan Simmerman as well. There was slight contact, and well, thankfully, when you make contact in these cars, normally it doesn't really end too well. But thankfully tonight, Lepresto and Berkeley, they're still able to keep the car rolling as the yellow came out just in time. But well, it's going to stack this field back up one more time, and we're going to see caution laps counting here in tonight's main event. But man, it's still not going to stop us from certainly putting on a show.
It isn't at all, and like you said, we had those drivers going 3 wide for that second and third position. They were holding nothing back. I don't know if we were able to catch, but Berkeley was really using that cushion. The first time I've really seen a driver use the cushion in tonight's event, and wow, the amount of momentum that he got off of the turn was unbelievable. Seeing Dylan Silverman fall back through the pack, seeing him kept using that low line and kept falling, and finally he pulled a slide job off and got on top of the cushion and made some momentum up, but it really wasn't enough. So he's going to get a chance to redo that restart here. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's learned anything and what he can do. And you know, we've got a little bit of a rivalry heating up with him and Tim Smith from earlier in this heat. Going to have to see if that comes into play, because these drivers have a long memory and they remember every single little thing that another driver does.
Yeah, they certainly do. But well, the field will go back into rows of 2x2, and Cole Newhoffen being given an EOL penalty for the course of the previous caution. So the 8 machine will find himself at the back of the bus as the lights go out on the pace truck. 1 to green. Alex Bergeron, your race leader. Second is Tim Smith. Third is Anthony Lepresto. Fourth is Joel Berkeley. Fast lap of the race so far. Alex Bergeron 17.142 at the moment. He's got 4/10 on anybody else, especially those drivers sitting in second, third and fourth. As the green flag is back out, we're back underway here at the Knoxville Raceway. Bergeron gets a good start. Smith has a great start as well, and more Lepresto now. He's going to work to the bottom side, challenging for the race lead. Bergeron has the high side working. He powers back down the back straight away into the race lead. Teammates Smith and Lepresto run side by side, and Berkeley and Silverman, they're both going to get around Lepresto down the front straight away. Into 1 and 2. Smith and Lepresto ride the top and bottom side of the racetrack. 3 wide down the back straight away. Silverman and Lepresto, they make contact. The yellow is out.
And the yellow out again. Contact right there between Silverman and Lepresto, but that wasn't the cause of the action. And not sure if we were able to see what that yellow was for.
Let's see. James Felder there, and Trevor Royer just stopped on the front stretch on the exit of turn number 4. And we'll certainly have a replay coming up for you here. But wow, man, what a battle up front. Yeah, a couple of cautions in the back of the pack happening at the moment, but man, you can't help but think that if we can get a good solid amount of green flag laps in here, I mean, your top 5, you know, these guys are really going to put on a show. We've already seen it a couple of times here already. These drivers, they're not afraid to go 3 wide early on in the race.
Yeah, they really are. And if we're get a green flag run here, you know, we might see some drivers up front getting on the wall and staying in there, because Silverman and Lepresto got really lucky that caution came out and it wasn't for them, because they were battling really hard. But now we've got Silverman. He's going to be sitting in that 4th position, Lepresto in that 5th position. I'm not sure if those two drivers are going to like what happened to him earlier, but look at Joel Berkeley in 3rd and Tim Smith in 2nd. But right now, the man to beat is Alex Bergeron. He has had no competition out front. We've seen battles all up and down the track, 3, almost 4 wide in that 2nd and 3rd and 4th. The battle's been really heating up, but then again, no one has had anything for Bergeron out front, and these drivers are going to have to get single file, and they're going to have to chase him down if they want a chance to win this race tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be tough to beat that 12 machine. The drivers go back into rows of 2 by 2, and while Simmelman and Lepresto, they made contact just before that yellow came out. Oh, we've seen it in the heat race, contact between Lepresto and Simmelman, so a bit of bad blood earlier on in the night. Pace truck about to pull to the infield, and we've got Alex Bergeron about to get us back to the green flag. Tim Smith trying to get the jump on the outside. We're back underway, and Dylan Silverman gets a good start as well. Walker's going to come back underneath him now, put a slider on there, 3 wide. Silverman through the middle now, 2 wide to Smith, and Silverman side by side, but well, give it to Smith now. Berkeley rides the cushion in turns 3 and 4. In fact, a lot of the drivers right now right on the top side of the racetrack. Bergeron going to the bottom, trying to run the slide job line into turn number 1 and 2. Berkeley looks to the inside of Silverman out of turn number 2. They are side by side. 3rd, give it to Silverman. Well, here comes Berkeley, gets the left front up onto the curb. He slides up at Silverman now. He's going to power back around the outside. Oh, there's a big crash coming out of turn number 4.
That's going to involve the number 8 machine of Newhoffen, and I believe it's going to involve the number 10 of Kevin Lovey's right there, so we're going to get a race spot replay.
Yeah, Ryan Martin involved in that one as well, and man, he took a wild run as they came off of turn number 4, and oh, it was just a bit of contact between. I'll get this car on, I just need to get the right camera. First was the 42 of Jason Minack. He just got into the side of Ryan Martin, and both cars took a heavy tumble down the front straight away. Dakota Kuhn getting involved along with Cole Newhoffen and a bunch of other cars. Now we see a couple of cars already coming out of pit road. Maybe a bit of a quick, shouldn't say splashing dash because these cars don't refuel, but a lot of the cars trying to get some sort of damage fixed on the race car before they have to come back up and line up behind the pace truck.
Yeah, you're right there. And if we can get cleared through this Hornet's Nest for about 5, 6, 7 laps, I believe we're going to see some really great racing. We've already seen it up front. And how about that move Dylan Silverman made? He went up the middle, making it 3 wide through Tim Smith and Joel Berkeley and grabbing that 3rd position. So some crazy moves so far we've seen in this race, and we've seen that Silverman's got the speed and he's got the aggression too to get up there. If we can stay green, he might be the one to watch here. It might be able to get up to Bergeron, but we're just gotta have about 10 or 15 laps or so of green flag racing if these drivers want to be able to catch Bergeron, because on those restarts he's really coming out to a lead. We've seen Tim Smith try to jump the gun, and it really cost him all that momentum as they went across the flag.
Yeah, so we're actually bringing out a single file restart. The lights are out on the pace truck. We're getting set to go back to green flag here in just a moment. We're going to have 22 laps left to run here in tonight's main event, so 18 complete, 22 to go. Bergeron getting set to go green, and Tim Smith almost pushing him down the front straight away. Oh, Tim Smith and Silverman, they came together, and looks like a caution flag has been thrown immediately. So we've got a replay coming up on screen for you right now. Silverman and Smith getting a little bit antsy there on that restart.
Yeah, it did. It looked like Tim Smith tried to jump that restart, and when he did, he let off the gas, and Dylan Silverman thought he was going and went up on that high side, but I don't know who to blame on that one, but it looked like Silverman just went to the high side, and then Tim Smith just jumped it just a tad bit, so it's hard to place blame on that wreck right there.
So the field going to assemble single file behind the iRacing Pace truck. And we're going to go around a couple more times to get these drivers sorted out in single file. And how about Connor Parisi? He started 6th and he's up to position number 3. He's just kind of been, you know, watching these guys battle in front of you, the likes of Berkeley, Presto, Simmelman, Smith, you know, Alex Bergeron. You know, he's just in a different zip code at the moment. But, you know, Connor Parisi, you know, up to position number 3. You've done a nice job of making it into tonight's dash, but you know, when you got probably the 5 of the best, you know, sim drivers that are, you know, trying to, you know, get the win here. I mean, it's hard to sort of compete with those guys. Now, I'm pretty sure he's more of a late model or a UMP kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. It's going to be interesting to see what that number 11 of Connor Parisi can do. Like you said, it's been really quiet. Now he's up here in this top 3. I don't know if he has enough speed to get up to Bergeron, but it'll be interesting nonetheless to watch. I'm not sure how much Tim Smith, how much damage he got out of that accident with Silverman. We've seen some bad blood with those 2 drivers earlier, and now it's coming back to haunt him too. I'm looking at his vehicle right now, and I'm not seeing any damage on it. So maybe that front bar on that front wing is bent just a tad, but I don't think it's going to be too much to hurt him. But he's going to be starting that 4th position, so he's going to have a little bit of traffic to get through if he wants to get up there with Bergeron.
And green flag is out. I'm pretty sure Dylan Silverman may have just passed 2 cars on the inside, but while the cushion is coming into effect right now, as you just seen Joel Berkeley and Tim Smith hit it right there. Down the back straightaway, Smith jumps the cushion as he went into turn number 3 and 4. Silverman on the low side. Berkeley up to position number 2. He's dragging the 38 of Tim Smith along with him on the top side of the racetrack. As that cushion, whoa, your top, 2 drivers inside of your top 10 are on the low side. Trevor Royer in car number 90 as well. He's up to position 6 as the yellow is out yet again.
We got a replay right now. That's going to be Dylan Silverman watching that restart. We've seen him jump 3 cars on that restart, so it's going to be interesting to see what the admins call on that one. Definitely jumped a few drivers right there. So really tough to say what was going on as we're going to go back live here under this yellow flag.
Well, we're seeing a couple of cautions early on in this race. As we just gonna see if anything is gonna happen to that number 3 machine. In fact, he's not in the 3, he's in the 81 at the moment, so a bit of a number change for Dylan Silverman. And it looks like that it really should have given him a black flag somewhere along the lines, but I can't actually see it at the moment.
They were sitting on that wreck. Unfortunately, the alien, as they like to call him, the O2 machine of Terry Renner, was involved in that accident. He's going to take that machine by the wall, behind the wall, so heartbreaker for him.
Well, the lights are out on the pace truck one more time around the Knoxville Raceway behind the pace truck. Alex Bergeron, you can see him just rolling on that cushion in turns 1 and 2. 13 laps left here to run in the penultimate round, and we've seen quite a few cautions. The cushion is starting to build. It's starting to get faster and faster. I don't think that bottom side is going to come back into play. I think we're going to see a lot of the drivers running the top side of the racetrack. We'll keep an eye. The race restart, 13 laps left to run. Ken Bergeron, can he pick up win number 4 of the season? We are back to green flag racing. Ken Berkeley, well, he's about 4 or 5 car lengths now, a little bit more. As Silverman works the inside of Smith into turn number 1 and 2. Silverman, he takes over third. Now going to take the racing line away from Tim Smith. Smith's going to look to come back by him right now, but Silverman, he hangs on. A battle going on for 6 right now. Trevor Royer on the outside. He's got DJ Kilinowski and Connor Parisi as well. Royer and Parisi side by side as they come out of turn 2.
And right now we've got slide job after slide job with Tim Smith in that 38 and Dylan Silverman in that 81 as they just keep throwing the slide jobs on each other. Very aggressive racing right here. These drivers have to be careful. But right now we've got a battle that's going to be the number 11 of Connor Peresi and the number 90 of Trevor Royer as they're battling all behind him as well. You see Connor go to the slide jump on the high side as they make contact and they're spinning and they're wrecking going down the backstretch.
Kilanowski, whoa, Connor Peresi went for a wild ride. Unfortunately, the 84 of Chris Brenner. Our second place in points. He's going to find himself on the back of a tow truck. And man, Peresi went for a ride. Contact between Roy and Peresi. Oh, it's never a good ending when these sprint cars go upside down.
Yeah, it's really not. I hate to see that too with that number 11 machine. He was having such a great run all night. You see him go up there, tried to pull the slide job off, and Royer just had nowhere to go right there. Tried to, he kept it in the throttle. He might have could have let out to maybe save that and to keep that from happening. But hey, racing's racing.
Yeah, certainly is. Alex Bergeron, your points leader. Well, he still rides in that first position, and he's going to extend the points lead in the championship as he's all but pretty much wrap this up. Chris Brenner, who was second, finds himself on the back of a tow truck going back to pit road. In fact, he's already in pit road. Oh, Anthony Lepresto in third, Tim Smith in fourth in the points. They find themselves sitting third and fifth in tonight's race, and we've only got a handful of laps to go. If these two drivers can consolidate a top 5 finish, man, they'd certainly gain some points on the second place in the championships off Chris Brenner. So I dare say that, you know, second, third and fourth are going to get a little bit of a shake-up after tonight's main event.
Yeah, they will, but we're not done yet. We're going to get one more green flag run at it. Does anyone have anything for Alex Bergeron? Berkeley is going to have to get the restart of his life if he wants to get up there and contend with Bergeron. He might be able to do it. If he can get the restart that we're hoping he does, then Bergeron is definitely going to have some competition, and we're going to see some side-by-side action to the checkered flag.
All right, pace truck about to pull in. Into turn number 4 and pull into the infield, and 6 laps left to run for Alex Bergeron. As Bergeron will lead. Race control not happy. Green flag is back out. Bergeron gets a good start on Joel Berkeley. Berkeley going to go back to the top side. Bergeron continuing to run the slide job line of Berkeley, just starting to reel him in right now. Oh, Simmelman and Smith, they almost came together. Simmelman almost tagged the back of Smith. Coming off of turn number 2, Trevor Roy on the inside, looking for a top 5 right now.
Right now, we see Joel Berkeley in that number 2, or I'm sorry, the number 999 machine running that high side. He's actually catching Bergeron just a tad. If this thing stays green, I think he's going to be able to catch him. Bergeron now using the high side and using that cushion. Berkeley ran about half a lane lower. Now you see Berkeley going back to the cushion in 1 and 2, trying to get all the momentum he can for the backstretch. Makes a little bit of a wiggle right there, and then now he's going back into 1 and 2, trying to get every single bit of momentum he can. I don't know if he's going to have enough time.
3 laps left to run here around the Knoxville Raceway. 1.5 miles to go. Bergeron, can he pick up win number 4 of the season? Can Berkeley? Can he silence the critics? And nope, there it is. Yellow flag is out. Checkered flag will wave behind the pace track. Unofficially, the pace truck will win, with Bergeron will get the job done and pick up win number 4. And well, it's only a matter of what ifs. There's going to be a lot of what-ifs questions, but Bergeron as the number 91, the reason for that caution. It's Ernie Williams Jr. Nope, single car caution will delay the inevitable that Joel Berkeley may have had something for our race leader. He's certainly caught up to, but with the white flag being displayed right now behind the pace truck, these drivers have half a mile to circulate, and Alex Bergeron will pick up win number 4 out of 7 in the series. Joel Berkeley will come home in second. Third is going to go to Tim Smith. So good job from those 3 drivers. And well, Davis, it was an interesting race to say the least. I mean, we didn't get any more than sort of 6 or 7 green flag laps in, but unfortunately, this sort of stuff happens in sprint car racing.
It definitely does, and it's just racing, and I do believe Berkeley would have definitely had a fight for him right there. But nonetheless, awesome racing here at the American Dirt Series Sprint Car 360 presented by Southern Indiana Lawn Care and Dirt Co Media House. But I would have really liked to see that thing green, because I think the 999 of Joel Berkeley would have had a fight for him.
Well, it is official, as the drivers will go past the start-finish line. Alex Bergeron will get the job done. Second will go to Joel Berkeley. Tim Smith in third. Dylan Simmerman comes home in fourth. And Austin Carr from the inside of row number 11, or row 10, comes away with a top 5. I hope Randy's going to have the results as I'm going through. Anthony Presto comes home in 6th. Corey Wenzel in 7th. Trevor Royer 8th. 9th went Nicole Newhoff and Dakota Kuhn. Rounds out of the top 10. You go back to Travis Smith, Ted Liette, DJ Kilanowski, Kevin Lovies, Scott Bellum, Chris Brenner, Chad Gamersfelder, Ernie Williams Jr., Connor Parisi, Ryan Martin in 20th, Jason Minot, and Terry Rennert in the 22nd starting spot. We have our top 3. We might as well start. Looks like we're just going to do our winner, as we are in victory lane with car number 12 of Alex Bergeron. And Alex, well, your clean sweep tonight here at the Knoxville Raceway. Got to be happy about that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. First time I get a perfect night. Won qualifying, the heat, and the dash, and the features, so I'm pretty happy with that. And you know, we had a couple of cautions tonight, but you know, we're racing for a championship here, so I was going, you know, cautious with the cushion there, and you know, I saw Berkeley coming at me there at the end, but yeah, so finishing second tonight would have been good too. I mean, you know, it's good for a championship, so good race overall.
Speaking of Berkeley, were you watching the relative? Could you see him coming in those last couple of laps before that yellow came out?
Yeah, I know. It just you run the cushion there, you know, full on, and it just I was not going there too much because I know it can do a lot of damage. So you can flip and finish it last. So I didn't want that. So you know, it was a good race.
Well, you clean sweep the night. You pick up 4 wins out of the 7 weeks so far. What has been the key to success for you at the moment?
You know, starting in a good position. You know, do a good qualifying, and you know, start like good in your E, and like I said, be in a good position for the start of your feature, and just trying to stay up front, like stay out of the trouble, and just stay patient, and win the race.
Well, speaking of championship points, you've I wouldn't say you've locked it up, but you're certainly coming close to locking that one up, as Brenner, who came away with a 16th, and you still got Presto and Smith there behind you. But look, congratulations on your 4th win out of the 7 weeks so far. No doubt, I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank.
Yeah, all together, Team VLR, the Drill Spill, Dirt Collective, Dirt Car Racing, Mar Inc., Ultimate Dirt TV, and RaceSpot for broadcasting. It's always a pleasure.
There we have it. That was Alex Bergeron, tonight's winner. He picks up his 4th win of the series. As word coming through that tonight's Down Under Graphics Hard Charger Award was Austin Carr from row number 11, or 10 in fact. He should have started in. So coming from at least the 20th, row 11, 21st starting spot to pick up a top 5. It's Davis, a little bit frustrating there at the end to finish under yellow.
Yeah, very frustrating nonetheless. Seeing a lot of hard racing out there. A lot of these drivers were just going for it and being very aggressive. Might have could have cooled it down a little bit, and we would have seen some green flag racing. But we've seen a lot of side-by-side action. The heats were very exciting. The dash was a thriller as well. And these drivers, man, hopefully we can get some green flag racing next week. But I'm excited to watch them go around again next Friday.
Yeah, the finale next Friday. Live here on RaceSpotTV, but that'll do it for the American Dirt Series 360 Wing Sprint Cars from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. Congratulations to Alex Bergeron, who picks up win number 4 of the season. On behalf of Randy Chenoweth in the production booth, Davis Richards, my name is Brett Wheeler. Thank you for watching RaceSpotTV. We'll see you back here next week.